Coming up on Winning Bets, we've got another free $10,000 jackpot up for grabs. Hey, what's up everyone? It's Jason Mattis with Winning Bets. Thanks for hanging out with me on this episode. That's right, it's time to go back to our dear friend, the Fox Bet Super 6 app, and a chance to win $10,000 on an MLB contest. Game span Thursday and Friday's play. You can see there in the screenshot that if you're unable to match all 6 questions, which is what it takes to get the $10,000 prize, they will give away a guaranteed $1,000 to the group of people that get the most correct. And I think last week, if I recall, looking back at the results, 5 people got 4 questions right, if I want to recall, because I think they each won $200 is what I remember seeing. So 5 people got 4 questions right. So just a really tough contest. You guys remember how this one goes. This is the one where they give you 6 games. You've got to not only predict the winner of that game, you've got to predict the exact amount of runs that they're going to win by. So just a really tough contest, but actually one that, is really fun, and I enjoy putting in the research on it, but I also enjoy sitting there tracking the games on my phone. That's a lot of enjoyment right there. So let's jump right on into it. And they started us off with a really tough matchup. We get the Brewers and the Cubs. This game is going to be played on Thursday. We're getting Brett Anderson versus Yu Darvish. Look, Anderson in 2020, he's lasted 3 innings and 3.2 innings, 0-2 on the season, and in each of those starts, he's giving up multiple runs. He did face the Cubs one time in 2019. It was a really good start. It was deemed a quality start. He went 6 innings and gave up 2 runs. So he has the making to be a good pitcher. He's obviously off to a really tough start so far in 2020. On the flip side, Yu Darvish started off as a really bad starter in 2020, had a really rough outing against the Brewers to open things up, but he's definitely turned it around against the Royals and Pirates lately, having 2 good outings. We've talked about the Pirates, though. You got to take that one with a little bit of grain of salt. The Pirates are just really so bad on offense, but give Darvish credit. He's turned it around and had 2 good starts. He did face the Brewers twice in 2019, and both of those were really good. He pitched a total of 8 innings pitches on 1 run total, so a good job facing the Brewers in 2019. We know the Cubs have the better offense. They have the better average. They have the better on-base percentage. They've hit more home runs, and they've struck out less than that Brewers offense. So offense advantage definitely goes to the Cubs. Bullpen advantage, significantly better to the Brewers. They're in the top of the league in most of the categories that I track. You guys know the ones I'm tracking: WHIP, ERA, FIP, and opponent's batting average. The Brewers are up towards the top in that, and they have their top guys available to use in today's ball game, as they weren't used in yesterday's game as they got blown out by the Twins. So Hader and Phelps are up and ready to go if the Brewers should need them. Meanwhile, the Cubs bullpen, they're really bad. They're in those same 4 categories that the Brewers are doing good in. The Cubs are in the bottom 10 of all 4 of those categories. And last night they used Wick and Jeffries in the game last night. So those are their top 2 guys. Kimbrel's kind of taken a backseat to these 2 guys. So these 2 guys may not be available. They didn't throw a lot of pitches. I think they were in the upper teens, maybe low 20s. I think one was in low 20s, one was in the upper teens. So they should be available to go on back-to-back, but you just never know. Maybe, and you also don't know how sharp they'll be. And then you have Kimbrel. We know he's been demoted for a reason, but he always has the potential to step up to be good. This one to me is just really, really tough. Because the Cubs bullpen is so bad, used their good arms last night. If this is a close game, late, let's say after 6 innings or after 7 innings, I could definitely see the Brewers winning this game. Unfortunately, I'm going to take that the Cubs have the better offense. And I think Darvish, he had a hiccup against the Brewers in Game 1, but like I said, he's turned it around. I'm going to rely on his track record against the Brewers in 2019 more than the one start in his opening start. Maybe he just came out, obviously, to a rough start to open his 2020 campaign. So I'm going to go Cubs win this game, but only by 1. I'm just not confident in that Cubs bullpen that if the Cubs are up by a few runs, they can hold that lead. And again, they used their good arms last night. So I'm going to say Cubs by 1 in this game. And this one could go either way. There will be people who will definitely be on the Brewers on this game. That was just a really, really tough game, I think, to actually predict who's going to actually win that game. And it's all because of that Cubs bullpen. It's just really, really bad. All right, guys, let's move on over to the next game. This one's played on Thursday, and then the other 4 are all played on Friday. This one's Padres versus the Dodgers. Padres so far have won two out of two out of the 3 games so far, so the chance for the Dodgers to get even here. We've got Paddock versus Urias on the mound. This should be a really good matchup. We know Paddock for the Padres is, their young starter. He's already making his 5th start of the season so far today, so that's pretty remarkable right there. He's been decent. He's got a quality start against the Dodgers already, going 6-inning pitches and 3 earned runs. They ended up winning that game 5-4, so he's got success this season against the Dodgers. In 2019, though, he got rocked twice by the Dodgers, and then he had one good start against the Dodgers in 2019. Urias, he's making his 4th start. He had a quality start against the D-backs, and his 2 other ones were just, kind of decent. They weren't quite deemed quality starts by Major League Baseball's stats. In 2019, he did pitch against the Padres in relief, so shorter roles. Those were all successful, but there were also short roles in a relief, and guys are definitely more successful in short roles where they're not seeing the lineup multiple times. So kind of really hard to, to get a lot there from his performances in 2019 against the Padres. Dodgers bullpen, 5 by far superior. They're actually top 3 in a lot of the categories, or in the categories I look at, they're top 3 in almost every single one. So just the bullpen definitely is the advantage there to the Dodgers. They did use Jansen, though, last night, but he didn't throw that many pitches. I think I saw he only threw 13, so Jansen should definitely be up again today. Padres, in terms of offense, surprisingly, the Padres have a better average and better on-base percentage. The Dodgers are just doing a better job, with RBIs and home runs when you actually get guys on base. But from an average and on-base percentage, Padres, are better in that standpoint. I'm going to go, though, that the Dodgers can lock this series up in terms of, tying it up 2-2. I'm going to go Dodgers win this game by 2. Again, another close game. The Padres are a good team. Like I just said, they've got a good starter on the mound in Paddock. Their offense is good. They can rake, so not going to go a huge win here by the Dodgers. I'm just going to go Dodgers by 2. All right, the next game here is Yankees versus Red Sox. This is Eovaldi versus Cole. Yankees coming off an off day. They won't have played Thursday, where the Red Sox do play today. I don't know the result based on, it's later on this evening. We know the Yankees have an excellent bullpen, and they'll be coming on rest having not played Thursday. The Red Sox bullpen is bad. The stats that I looked up, they're in those 4 categories. In 3 of those 4 categories, they're in the bottom 10 of Major League Baseball. And then the 4th one, they're just outside the bottom 10. So just a really bad bullpen here from the Red Sox. And it looks like on Thursday's game, they're going to go with a bullpen game because they've called some guy up from the AA, so I'm sure he's going to get rocked today. So the bullpen will probably be tired and worn out by the time they get around to this game. We know that Garrett Cole is going to absolutely shut down the Red Sox. There's no doubt about that. The Yankees, like I said, have the good bullpen. The Yankees offense will eventually get to Eovaldi. They'll probably get him for a few runs. Then they'll light up that Red Sox bullpen. I'm going Yankees by 5 here. This game is just going to be a complete domination here by the Yankees led by Cole on the mound. So Yankees by 5 is how I've got that one. All right, guys, the next matchup's a little tough to break down just in terms of at the time I'm doing this recording. We've got Mets versus Phillies in the next game, and the Phillies haven't announced a starter, but we can break it down a little bit easily because the Mets have DeGrom going, and we know that he should actually shut down that Phillies offense there. Should DeGrom there. We know Phillies, we don't know who their starter is. We know that bullpen's terrible. We've been riding them to wins this week in terms of actual real bets to get with the Orioles, so we know the Phillies bullpen is just really no good. Both teams will have played by Thursday. Not a lot to break down here. No, again, the pitchers are on his side. I'm just going to go Mets by 4 here and really lean on Mets having a pretty decent offense, and they've got DeGrom on the mound. So Mets by 4 is how we'll see that one breaking down. The next game here is going to be Pirates versus the Reds. This one's got, the Pirates starter is a little interesting. They're throwing Chad Kuhl, I think is how you pronounce his name. They're throwing him on the mound, but to be honest, he's already made 3 appearances this season. He's come on after, no, it's 4. He's come on after Stephen Brault, and then they flipped them, and then Cole started the game, and Stephen Brault came on. So I guarantee you, I already looked up, Stephen Brault hasn't pitched in 3 days. I guarantee you Cole's going to start this game, then Brault's going to come into the game. So I kind of looked up both of their stats there. They're both whip at around 1.5, and their opponents on base on batting average is .267, so not a really good pitcher by either one of these guys. Cole is more of a fly ball pitcher. They'll be going up against Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray, look, you need to forget his time when he was a New York Yankee. Don't let that bad time in New York have that image stick in your mind. or Sonny Gray, sorry. He's been a really, really good starter before New York, and he's proved it. Once he left New York and went to Cincinnati, he's been really, really good and has been great so far this season. Both these bullpens, terrible. The stats I look at, both of these teams are in the bottom 10 of Major League Baseball. Just absolutely bad bullpen. We do know that the Pirates, there'll be today's game, Thursday game, will be their first game back in a while because their game was postponed due to the Cardinals' coronavirus positive test issue. So they'll at least have one game under their belt. I'm going to lean here Reds. I'm going to go Reds, actually. Reds by 3. Let's go Reds by 3 in this game. And I just see the Reds offense coming through. But again, terrible bullpens. If one of these teams were to come back and snatch a victory away, not going to be super surprised because both bullpens are really bad. But give me Sonny Gray. At least he can go deep in this game. I'm hoping 6+. And then we can just rely on a little bit of bullpen help and get us the win. So Reds by 3. All right, everyone. The last game is going to be the Indians versus the Tigers. This one's a really good game. Both teams will be coming off an off day on Thursday, which you guys know I love in terms of a bullpen resetting because the Indians have a top bullpen. They're top 10 in all the stats I look at. Not the White Sox. The Tigers, they're in a couple of categories. They're in the top 10, but not like the Indians in terms of all 4 categories that I look at. The Indians are in that top 10. Ivan Nova will be on the bump for the Tigers. His whip is around mid-1, ERA, around 4. You can definitely light up Ivan Nova. I know he has the potential to go out there and throw a gem, but more often than not, he's going to give up, 2 to 4 runs and then bow out of a game. On the other side, I think it's Sival is how you pronounce this guy's name. This guy's good right here. He's got a whip of low 1. He's got a really low ERA. He's got great control. He only averaged about 1 walk per start. Just a really good guy. Not going to give you free passes and also not going to give up a lot of hits. So advantage here. Starting pitcher goes to the Indian. Bullpen definitely goes to the Indian. Offense definitely goes to the Tigers. Man, the Indians can't hit, but I always say pitching wins the day. So give me the better side, the pitching with the starters and the bullpen. I'm going Indians win this game by 2. But man, another really tough close game. They gave us 6 games. I think that'll be really tough. So anyways, to recap it, I've got Cubs by 1, Dodgers by 2, Yankees by 5, Mets by 4, Reds by 3, and Indians by 2. All right, guys, don't forget, these are winning picks. You guys can trust me. Trust me, I only gave you guys winners. It's our turn to go out and get that $10,000 or at worst get a share of the $1,000. So there it is. Download it. It's the Fox Bet Super 6 app. Chance to win $10,000 over the course of the next 2 days on some MLB games. All right, guys, I'm Jason Mattis. I'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for watching this episode of Winning Bets. I'm Jason Mattis. I'll see you again when we are celebrating the wins and making more winning bets. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more winning bets.